The surprise release from Tudor has arrived. It's the Tudor Pelagos 39, and believe it or not, I called it. Right, welcome back guys. My name is Harrison from the Chisholm Hunter channel as always, and today we are going to take a look at the surprise release from Tudor, the Pelagos 39mm. This was a very big surprise to most people in the industry, apart from your boy Harrison.
I think there'll be a new Pelagos. I think. I want there to be. I don't know, but I think there will be.
So on the original Pelagos 42mm, we saw it obviously come in at 42mm in diameter. But this Pelagos, the big change here is it comes in at 39mm. That is such a breath of fresh air. And the reason that it's breath of fresh air, especially to me, is that I have 6.5-inch wrists. So I'm a little bit slimmer, I'm a little bit more skinny, and smaller watches just suit me better. So the fact that they've downed the case size, it's a big deal. The case and the bracelet of this model are satin brushed, and they're actually made from grade 2 titanium. Now, for those of you that have watched the channel for a while, you'll know that I am getting more and more into my titanium models, and it's just because of my lifestyle, I suppose. When I'm out and about in the hills, when I'm doing my photography and videography, titanium watches can get me through that. They are more durable at their core, and they're also lighter watches, so you don't really feel them on the wrist as much as stainless steel, platinum, gold. So again, I'm a fan of titanium. It does have a darker aesthetic than stainless steel. So if you're wanting a lighter, brighter watch, stainless steel is the one to go for. But if you're wanting a darker aesthetic, titanium's your guy. Now this watch actually has a unidirectional rotating bezel, and this bezel has a sunray satin finish ceramic insert. Now, ceramic bezels, everybody knows that they're very popular because of how durable they are. That durability matched with the titanium makes this a very compact, durable watch, very much for outdoors use. Also, just a little update on the kind of situation that we've going on here. I know that this isn't our normal format, but to tell you the truth, guys, I was just too excited about this watch not to give an update to the channel. I mean, I've been talking about getting a titanium model for ages, for literally about, what, 6 months? Yeah. About 6 months. I've been talking about reducing the case size down, getting a smaller watch, and I've also been talking about Tudor for a very long time. Not to mention the fact that I actually called this release. That is all, you know, this is a perfect formula for me just spending far too much money on a watch. It's very exciting to me, so I hope you guys get the same excitement out of this video. But let's crack on with more of the specs and see what we're dealing with, because this is cool. The Superluminova on this piece is grade X1 Superluminova. Now we know from previous Tudor models that this is extremely bright, and although I don't have the Tudor with me today, I don't have it in person, we will review that when it comes in, but I don't have it in person, I can still presume that it's going to be really, really bright in the dark because of the previous versions that have this Superluminova. Then we get to the snowflake hands. Snowflake hands are a love or hate for some people. Some people don't like them, some people really do. Personally, I love them. I have two Tudor Blancpains sitting at home that both have these hands. And it's a throwback to Tudor's history. I mean, they were introduced in 1969, and I love the fact that they've remained consistent throughout Tudor's range. I mean, they're not forgetting who they were. The crown on this model is of course grade 2 titanium, as well as the case and also the bracelet if you choose to go for that. It has a screw down crown, and the crown is adorned with the shield in relief. So that iconic Tudor shield is on the crown. Now, something that I like about Tudor crowns is that they're not too prominent. They don't kind of dig into the wrist, and they don't have sharp edges. In some watch brands, you bend your wrist like this, and it really digs in, and it's just a bit too sharp. Now, Tudor don't tend to have that, and from what I can see from the images, this one doesn't have that either, which is fantastic, but obviously I need to get it in person. This screw-down crown ensures a waterproofness of 200 meters, which is pretty good, and the last variant of the Tudor Pelagos had a 500 meter water resistant, but that did come in at 42mm, so it was 3mm bigger, and it was, or it looks, a lot more chunky than this watch. Now, these watches, they come in titanium, a titanium bracelet, or a rubber strap. I have to say, looking at these images side by side, that rubber strap with the titanium dark aesthetic looks absolutely stunning. I think that's the one that I would go for out of these two, but I would love to know your thoughts. Would you go for the titanium or would you go for the rubber strap? This watch has a 3-link titanium bracelet with a Tudor T-fit folding clasp. It also has a safety catch and diver's extension. Now, of course, the diver's extension is very useful if you are a diver. I'm not a diver, I am a desk diver. I get diving watches and sit at my desk and edit and film videos. That is what I do. But if you are a diver, that'll be extremely, extremely useful. It also comes with a complimentary black rubber strap with a pin buckle and a diver's extension included in the box. So this is quite the tool watch, and if I were to get this model, I'm not gonna lie guys, I'd definitely put it on the rubber strap. I just think it looks so much more attractive to me personally. And also, I know that titanium is durable, but I do tend to knock my watch about. I tend to bang my watches up. And I'd be very nervous to scratch something that's this expensive and this exclusive. I mean, Tudor's a fantastic brand, so I'd be quite nervous to scratch that. Whereas if I had the rubber, I reckon I could wear it more constantly. It could be more of a everyday wearer. You know, it's interesting. When I first went shopping for my Tudor Blancpain Burgundy, I did look at a Tudor Pelagos. I looked at the blue and of course the black, and there's something that just didn't click to me. There's something that I wasn't a huge fan on. And I think it might have been the date window. And the fact that they've removed that date window made it very dark, very stealthy. I like this watch. Yeah, I really do. Let's quickly cover the movement of this model before we get into the face detail, and also how I feel about this release personally, how I feel about this watch personally. So, the movement in this model is the manufacturer caliber MT5400. This, of course, is COSC certified, which is fantastic, and it's totally in-house from Tudor. It has a self-winding mechanical movement with a bi-directional rotor system. This movement has a non-magnetic silicone balance spring and beats at a frequency of 28,800 BPH. It has a total diameter of 30.3 millimeters and thickness of 5 millimeters. It has 27 joules and a pretty great power reserve of 70 hours. The dial on this model, of course, is black, and getting into some of the detail on this dial, it has very prominent hands and indices that come in white. Now, that bold nature of being black and white is extremely readable. And for me, I am quite heavily dyslexic, so something like this stands out to me a bit more, and I can read it a little bit easier, especially when I'm on the move. It fits my lifestyle a little bit better. Another change that they've done is, if you look at the previous version of the Pelagos or the Pelagos left-hand drive, they've actually removed the 3 o'clock date window totally. They've removed the date window totally. It is no longer there. Now, I quite like this. I like watches that are just simplistic and don't, I mean, how often you actually turn the date in a watch? Probably not very often. So I prefer watches without the date window. I don't mind them, but I prefer them without. So I'm pretty happy with this change, but I'd love to know what you think. Would you have rather they moved it from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, or would you rather they've done what they've done and just got rid of it? So that is the basics of this watch covered. That is everything you need to know about this watch. And I can't go into great detail because I don't have the watch on me. I don't want to tell you something that I don't know myself because I haven't had the watch in my hands. But to me, this is probably the best looking Pelagos that I've seen from images. Now, I know that I've said never judge a watch on its imagery, but sometimes you get a good gauge, and sometimes when you see the specs, you get an even better gauge. So I'm very excited to get this one in, to try this one on, and to see how it looks and feels. What I would love to see from Tudor, especially in this Pelagos range, is maybe a couple more color variations. Maybe a green in there, and that is the Tudor Pelagos 39mm. If you have enjoyed this video, this quick first impressions video, then please hit the subscribe button and keep up to date with all the latest watch news, watch trends, and also watch reviews. We get some really incredible models in the studio here at Chisholm Hunter. My name is Harrison, as always, and I'll see you, not on the next release, probably in like 3 days.